Start.
Very good evening, students. I am Dr. Sangeeta. I have come here to take a topic on health and diseases. Health and diseases. What is health? How can we define health? It can be defined as a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being. Health is wealth. So when people are very healthy, they are more efficient at work. It increases the longevity of people and reduces infant and adult mortality. Mortality means death rate. So to lead a healthy life and to maintain good health, three factors are must. One is personal hygiene. Second, regular exercise. And third one, your balanced diet. So if you have these three, you can lead a very healthy life. Now, coming for diseases, how can you define a disease? A disease can be defined as a disorder or malfunctioning of the mind or a body. It involves morphological, physiological and psychological disturbances which may be due to environmental factors or pathogens or genetic anomalies of lifestyle changes. What are pathogens? Pathogens are the disease-causing organisms. Now, we have defined health, we have defined diseases. If you are going to take diseases, these are classified into two types. One is communicable diseases, the other one will be non-communicable diseases. What is communicable diseases? Communicable diseases means diseases which can be transmitted from one person to another. They are called infectious or communicable diseases. These disease-causing organisms, they are called pathogens. As I already told you, pathogens are the disease-causing organisms. They are transmitted through air, water, food or by the physical contact. So, the disease-causing pathogen may be virus, bacteria, fungi, protozoan parasites and helminthic parasites. These are the communicable diseases caused by the pathogens. While coming for the non-communicable diseases, as I already told you, it cannot be transmitted from one person to the another. Example, we can say arthritis. Arthritis will be an example for the non-communicable. It is not an infectious disease. Fine. Now, I told you the common human diseases, bacterial diseases, viral diseases, fungal diseases, protozoal diseases and helminthic diseases. Giving example for each, bacterial diseases, example we can say dysentery. It is caused by a bacteria. Viral diseases, you can say common cold. Fungal, you say athlete's foot. Protozoan parasites might be malaria. And helminthic parasites will be ascariasis or filariasis. Filariasis is elephant leg. Alright. So, now you are clearly understood the examples for each disease. Fine. I will brief you out what is bacterial diseases. How does bacteria spread? Bacteria will spread through air, water or by inhaling the droplets or even by sharing the utensils, dresses with an infected person. So the viral test is there to perform fever for typhoid. These are all the bacterial diseases. Now talking about the viral diseases. Viruses. What is viruses? They are the smallest intracellular obligate parasites which multiply within the living cells. Outside the living cell, they cannot carry out the characteristics of living organism. They multiply only within the living cells. Okay. So, these are all the viral diseases. Now, let me talk about viral diseases are generally grouped into 4 types. One is called as pneumotrophic. Viral diseases, they are classified into pneumotrophic. They are called as pneumotrophic. The other one is called dermotrophic. You call it as dermotrophic. One is neurotropic. First one is pneumotrophic. The other one is dermotropic. The other one is viscerotropic. Viscerotropic. And the last one is neurotropic. Okay. What do you mean by pneumotropic? What do you mean by pneumotropic? Pneumotropic, they are the respiratory tract infected by influenza virus. Pneumotropic, it is in the respiratory tract which is infected by influenza. And the dermotrophic diseases, derma means skin, and the subcutaneous tissues. It is affected by the chicken pox and measles. Can you understand? This two, pneumotropic, dermotrophic. Then comes viscerotrophic. They are the diseases caused by the blood and the visceral organs which are affected by the yellow fever and dengue fever. That is the viscerotrophic. And lastly, you call it as neurotrophic diseases which is affecting the central nervous system. It affects by the rabies and polio. So these 4 diseases are caused by the virus. I think you are clear with this now. So we have covered now viral diseases, bacterial diseases. Now talking about protozoan diseases. So protozoan diseases, I have given you example malaria. You can say the other example also we can quote will be the amoebiasis. What is amoebiasis? Amoebiasis is also called amoebic dysentery, which lives in the human large intestine. It is caused by a Entamoeba histolytica, which feeds on the food particles and bacteria. This is the protozoan diseases, amoebiasis. Okay. Then next point we'll go for malaria. So malaria is what? It is also caused by different types of Plasmodium species, such as Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium malariae, and Plasmodium falciparum. So this Plasmodium, it lives in the RBCs, that is red blood cells of human in the mature condition, which is called as a trophozoite. So it is transmitted from one person to another by the bite of the infected female mosquito called Anopheles. Am I clear with this? So almost we have covered 3. So we have covered virus, bacteria and protozoan. Now, so the life cycle of Plasmodium and all will be covered in the next class. Now let me talk about malaria. What are the different types of malaria? So different types of malaria, first one you call it as benign tertian or vivax malaria, Corten malaria, mild terrain malaria, malignant tertian or quotidian malaria. So what is the causative agent for tertian means the causative agent is Plasmodium vivax. So the duration of this will be like 48 hours. Corten malaria is caused by the Plasmodium malariae. This mild tertian malaria is caused by Plasmodium ovale. The other one, malignant tertian, is caused by Plasmodium falciparum. So these are all coming under the malarial categories. Okay. Now talking about the fungal diseases. Fungal diseases means Before bacteria, so the fungal came into existence. Understand? So dermatomycosis is a cutaneous infection caused by fungi belonging to the genera called Trichophyton, Microsporium, and Epidermophyton. So it is one of the most, that is the ringworm. You all heard about the ringworm, you may have seen the advertisements also. So the ringworm is one of the most common fungal diseases in humans. Appearance of lesions, dry, scaly lesions on the skin, nails and scalp are the main symptoms of this disease. How heat and moisture help this fungi, help this fungi to grow and make them to thrive in skin folds. It will be in the middle. Okay. So the ringworms are generally acquired from soil or by using clothes. So this when the ringworms are coming in the feet, you call it as a athlete foot. You call it as a athlete foot. It is caused by Taenia pedis. It is caused by Taenia pedis. This ringworms are generally acquired from soil or by using cloths, towels and comb used by the infected person. So you have to be very careful. When the people are being affected with this, you have to use your things separately, not to mix with others. I think I am clear with this. Then comes helminthic diseases. What are helminthic diseases? They are mostly endoparasitic in the gut and blood of human beings, and they are called as helminthiasis. The two most prevalent helminthic diseases are ascariasis and filariasis. So this ascariasis means what? It is a disease caused by intestinal endoparasite, Ascaris lumbricoides. You call this commonly called as what? They are called as roundworms. So it is how it is transmitted. It is transmitted through ingestion. Ingestion is taken inside the food of embryonated eggs through the contaminated food and water. So children, while playing in the contaminated soil, they are always prone to have a chance of transfer of eggs from hand to mouth. So the children are not aware, right? So while they are playing, they touch the soil and immediately they'll take the food and they'll put it in the mouth. So by this factor, this goes inside and it's affecting. Okay. The symptoms of the disease are, what are the symptoms of this disease? They'll be having a abdominal pain. Then they'll be having vomiting, headache, anemia, diarrhea, etc. Alright. So a heavy infection will cause nutritional deficiency and severe abdominal pain and causes stunted growth in children. So it may also cause hepatitis and bronchitis. So you are clear with this. Next, talking about the filariasis, it is caused by Wucheria bancrofti, commonly called as a filarial worm. Filariasis. Filariasis means otherwise call it as a elephant leg. This, if you take the life cycle of this, it is completed in two hosts. One will be the man, the other one will be the female Culex mosquito. Understand? So, in the lymph glands, the juveniles, the small ones, will develop into adults. This is the filariasis. Okay. Then, we'll go for the next topic. Maintenance of personal and public hygiene. What is hygiene? Everybody says to be hygiene. What is hygiene? It is a set of practices performed to conserve good health. So it refers to the conditions and practices that help to maintain health and prevent the spread of diseases. So what is personal hygiene? To maintain by bathing, washing hands, trimming your fingernails, wearing clean clothes, and also includes attention for keeping the surfaces in the home and workspace, your toilets, your bathroom facilities, clean and pathogen, disease free. So our public places teem with infection, contamination and germs. So it's when going to the public places, not that the public places that are very unclean, we might be amazed at the number of people who do not wash their hands before taking food, after visiting restroom, or who sneezes without covering their faces. So many infectious diseases such as typhoid, amoebiasis and ascariasis are transmitted through contaminated food and water. Alright, now there is so much of advancements are there in science and technology which will provide effective measures for controlling this infectious and non-infectious diseases. So we already know the smallpox has been completely eradicated in India. Moreover, a large number of diseases like polio, the tetanus have been controlled by the use of vaccines and by creating the awareness among the people. So now, the major threat prevailing in the society nowadays is the coronavirus. So this coronavirus, which came in Tamil Nadu, March 24th there's a lockdown till July, and some liberalization has been given, but still the schools haven't opened yet. So when the schools are going to open, the children and the teachers want to take care of your wards and take the safety measures to prevent this coronavirus entering into the society. So thanks for now, and by the next class I'll go with the concepts of immunology. Thank you.